Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Hubcast. Ooh. I think this is lucky number 13, isn't it? Or is this lucky number? Or is this 12 or 14? That should be on.
Oh,
Who
the big
set
one?
this thing up?
I did.
I
did the lights.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I just
he came in after the fact
technical-
and adjusted other things. He also didn't think about that. Is that usually on? That's usually on.
Not that powerful. I think we only do one side. Turn
One side goes like almost all the way up. The other side is a bit more of a low dial. Turn off the one side that you turned on, and then
my goodness,
that
I
one
just have it-
scales up so a little bit lower.
I just have a grid of lights ingrained in my eyes.
There we go.
So,
Oh, I can't see anything now.
oh man, my eyes.
It looks
Welcome.
like Friday Night Lights. Sorry, Jordan. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm fine. I just see dots every time I blink. So welcome to the Hubcast for today. Day numbered whatever of this year. Probably up in the 300s by this point.
Zip session.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I would hope it'd be up in the 300s.
330, no, 340 something maybe?
340 something.
Let's see.
365.
I'm saying we're at day 340 something.
If it is today, oh, my phone's up.
Spencer keeps on going.
But this
to his
was a
phone.
leap year, right? Or no?
I have no
Is
idea.
it the 8th
I
today?
don't keep track of that.
It is.
Today's the 7th?
Yes, it's day number 8 of the
Dates.
December Daily Dozen, Spencer.
Okay, so that means that there
Ooh,
is
the
2 would be 20.
If there's
11.
one-
There's 13 days minus 60,
Number 23.
10 minus that.
13
So
days of summer. Is that a movie?
I forgot.
It's
In the
2.
world.
It's exactly 2 weeks until my dad comes. Yay!
Papa Gidlow.
Speaking of which, what's everyone's Christmas plans?
I really don't know.
You know, he's hanging out with his pop.
Yeah, I know
What are you
that.
doing?
My pop.
I call my dad my
I
pop.
need Jordan. Well, I don't know how this would even work. I've always wanted Jordan to meet my dad, but it's just never.
Does he
happened.
look like
I
you?
have met your dad. On Skype.
On Skype. That's
Does he look like you?
no.
No, he doesn't.
I want to meet
I-
Papa
Trace
Dan.
elements.
Yeah, there are trace
He looks
elements.
like Jeremy Irons' side.
My dad.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons is
My
that his
dad's a
name?
tall, like
Yeah.
not tall. I think I'm about as tall as he is, but he's a skinnier dude and he's very dark. Like he's not like we're white people, but he just tans a lot. So
He's pretty tall and thin, right?
yeah, he's a tall, thin guy. I take from my mother's side of the family. They're all no necks.
Is it
and
like if I
chubby
if
and-
I looked like you?
Ed Harris.
Yeah, he looks more like he'd be your dad than my dad. I think looking at each other.
Man,
He looks like Ed Harris.
I'm excited
I
Meet
could
my
see Ed
dad.
Harris a little bit.
Yeah.
I see so many different actors, and I'm like, he kind of looks like my dad a
There's a
little
little bit of Ventura I'm seeing
yeah, a little bit of Jesse Ventura.
in the brow area.
bit. Anyway,
What are you going out for?
Uncle
oh, I'm
Tommy's
staying
brother.
in.
Yeah.
I got like
No, I said
20
I
presents
thought you
under
said
the tree.
oh. I thought you said oh, like you saw something.
Oh, I saw Jesse Ventura. I was like, Jesse Ventura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's always sad that your head blocks
I know.
Jesse.
It's such a shame. Anyway, I'll do the cool like I'm drinking a coffee and smoking a cigarette at the same time pose.
There you go. I'm just sad that Jordan, if you could sit up now and get those horns aligned up with your head.
Oh man, that's a
Drink
long
out of the
way.
horn while having horns.
That's not a long way though, because it's happened before where you were just
There you
sitting
go.
there and it was perfectly lined up with your head the
Dragon
entire time you were
tail,
talking, so it made me
dragon
laugh.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Anyway, so now we could see Jesse and you have devil horns.
What are you doing, Joe? For biffness.
For biffness, I don't have any plans at the moment. I don't know. I'm kind of Christmased out. I just kind of
Come over to
Hang
my
on.
place, we'll have a chillmas.
yeah. We'll get a tofurkey or something and not eat it.
Why
and-
not a Festivus tree or pole?
pole.
We could. Yeah, Joe got like a little Christmas tree for his room, and it's actually awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have
Smells
a
like
teeny
cinnamon.
Christmas tree on top of like a cabinet, and I put all my
Potpourri.
presents underneath.
Yeah.
But, so no one has an actual tree?
Well, I have a fake tree. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, just a big,
Oh.
full size tree.
I have a
It doesn't
full size
to be
tree.
A real one.
No.
Yeah, I have a full size fake tree, which I could turn
Is
into a
it set
Festivus
up?
pole if I took all the rods
Did you
off.
actually set it up?
No, I haven't set it up yet.
Okay.
I don't have space. I moved Fisher's little play tower that I built in 2012 while you were building your trebuchet. I still have that, and it was in my bedroom for the longest time, and I moved it out because I finally moved the boxes that were next to my Blu-ray shelf.
You made
so all
that
the
tower?
Blu-rays are out. I put it together.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
make it. I bought it and put the pieces together.
Gotcha.
And move that where those boxes were in the corner in my little dining room area. So I was going to put the tree there, but I don't want Fisher hopping on it now, and so I don't know where the fuck I'm going to put it. The end.
Shoot.
End
I think my feet were going to go that far.
What'd you do? Were they in
Oh,
the
they
frame?
No, they were. They just went like... it was just really comfortable. Plus, my hamstrings are like super sore, so it kind of stretches them
I
out.
hate when my
Hams.
hamstring is sore.
Fuck hamstrings, man.
He doesn't even know where the hamstrings are.
Yeah, I do.
Why do you have to be better than everybody all the time,
Honey glazed
Jordan?
hamstrings.
I'm just asking if people know where they are.
Why?
Everyone's talking about
What
hams.
gave you reason to then go like?
See, Dan,
What
I
about
got
gams?
severely offended within seconds of people saying that they also had sore hamstrings or didn't like hamstrings. So therefore, I had to immediately know.
You're talking about the
that
string you
they-
wrap around hams, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
hamstrings.
it's like the little twine bit that
Yeah.
kind of goes around, leaves
Holds
that
in the
little
juices.
indentation.
Oh.
So if they don't know where exactly that is, it's just I just am slightly offended. So I had to know.
I'm sorry. Have
It's
some coffee.
ridiculous.
Ooh.
Some friendship coffee.
Is that hamstring
I'll
coffee?
grab my. It would coffee be bad if I watered it down with a bunch of water?
Yes.
I don't think you have to specify
Yes.
what you were watering it down with
can
when
just
you
use
say
the-
watered
the
down.
top portion of the
Is
candle.
do you think this is a hot friendly cup?
I don't
'Cause
want to
would
risk it.
hate
It's
to-
pretty.
Ooh,
It's
I don't
all
know.
pearlescent.
Is there anything on the bottom or anything?
Oh, I
or-
can see the water level in there. That's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
He
slightly.
put a light
slightly
the other day.
opaque-y.
We were having a meeting and the power went off. It's when you were at the apartment. The power went off and he took his phone light and like put it on top of his thing and turned it into like a little lamp. It was
It was
kind
a
of cool.
lantern. I could probably do it again because I have a bright LED.
Fantastic. Let's just take the
Perfect.
moment.
No,
to,
you guys can keep talking. I'm just
Ooh,
gonna do it in
Zeroko
the meantime.
resubscribed.
Let's just-
13 months in a row.
Holy
I'm
Thank
just
you.
gonna
crap.
do it in the meantime.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, sir.
Jordan's putting the. Oh, look at
See, look
that.
at that.
Oh, neat.
Listen to that ale
I don't
horn.
think
Wow,
you
that's
even
pretty.
see
You
it
can't.
on the
You can't
video.
even tell on camera that's lighting
Can't
up.
even tell on camera. Okay.
Oh.
anyway.
We turned
So
off some lights.
You don't, have
but
any, you don't have any plans for Christmas?
No, I have just regular holiday family plans. All that great stuff.
Regular. That's what we're talking about.
Well, there's nothing special like going into like
Christmas is
a winter
special.
wonderland and seeing Santa Claus or anything like that. It's just spending time with family.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm getting presents. I can see them under the tree every time I leave for work. I'm like, I'm gonna open that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Cool.
Do you guys have any sort of movie traditions? Do you guys watch any movies?
Elf.
Mr. Bean's
Right.
Christmas.
Mr. Bean's Christmas, Elf.
Yep, Elf is a definite. Plus some other ones.
Elf's pretty good.
It's always a mix-up. But Elf I've watched every Christmas since it came out.
What was that 2003, I think?
It's a good movie.
See, I think I missed that like Elf train by like a year or two because my family more so not that we're like crazy about it, but watch the Santa Claus. Like not that we do
with
it,
Tim
not
Allen?
that we do it purposefully. It's just I've always seen it every single year. It's just
That was the
something-
thing
and I never
until,
saw Elf really.
Like
so.
2008, and then I think I just stopped watching because I haven't seen Santa Claus probably
I
about
don't
10
think
years.
I've ever seen it.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
I like
weird,
it.
but it's good.
It's not terrific, but it just it's very Christmassy. So
I had a weird moment with Elf though. I was at the mall on Black Friday and they had an Elf sweater, like Christmas sweater, which I was like, oh, that's cool. But it was in Urban Outfitters, and I was like,
Oh no.
I'm not an Urban Outfitters guy. I don't go to Urban Outfitters. I can't buy this.
Could you tell by looking at it that it was from?
It was
Urban
kind of
Outfitters?
shitty. There wasn't color to it. It was like a dark green thing with light green sewing on it, and I was kind of like, there's no effort. There's no like giant tinsel and red balls around it. I don't know.
I saw an R2D2 Christmas sweater where he's wearing reindeer antlers. I thought about buying it, but then didn't.
I just don't wear sweaters. I like jackets.
Yeah. I don't like pullovers. I like the zip.
Yep.
Me
I'm
too.
in agreement of all those things.
Me
Agreed.
too.
Somebody said Cardboard Tube said Bad Santa is one of his favorite Christmas movies. I've heard the second one's
yeah.
not that great, but I haven't seen
Oh,
either.
no.
Apparently the first one wasn't that great either. Like
I had
it just
always-
had-
I mean,
it just
'cause
had
I
a
was-
cult following.
I
kind
was of
thing.
that age, so like it was,
Wasn't it a remake?
Bad Santa, the first one.
I have no idea.
I'm sure there's
I
been
don't know what the history of
movies
that
where-
is.
I
Harold
might be
and
thinking of
Kumar's
Bad News
Christmas
Bears.
Adventure.
That was a remake.
Yeah.
I usually watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. Although we had gotten in the habit of watching The Room the last few years. I've been watching The Room on Christmas Eve, which has nothing to do with Christmas. But man, it's always fun being like, oh, okay, we'll watch The Room.
It's like
kind of like Die Hard is considered a Christmas movie.
Well,
I
because
think
that
this-
takes place on Christmas.
I know, but
it's like in
not-
How I Met Your Mother when they always watch Predator.
They do?
Do they watch that on
they watch
Christmas, Sam,
Predator?
or do they watch that elsewhere? When did they watch Predator?
I think it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It becomes a tradition because they just like watching Predator on Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Home
Hey, yeah,
Alone's
why does it
pretty
have to be a
Christmassy.
Christmas movie? Pick a movie that you like and watch it.
Exactly.
Speed.
That'd be a good one. Clock's ticking.
You like doing speed?
Oh yeah.
We can
Especially
just
with
edit
Speed
it
Gauntlet.
to
Christmas
be
Eve.
Christmas presents instead of bombs.
So in the movie Speed,
Burning tires.
one of my favorite things about any rated R movie that's aired on television is that they change the swear words, or they'll completely bleep them out, but they'll change them typically. And so a couple lines in the movie, it's like a line in the beginning and then a return line at the end, where the bad guy says "pop quiz, asshole," and so in
Wait,
the
asshole's okay?
no, that's not the television version.
Oh, okay.
The television version is "pop quiz, animal," like it's just animal. Like it's so unnatural the way it's delivered.
I still
love when they
think
do that.
Snakes on a Plane is the
Eyes
best
wide
one.
shut.
But I think that's also the most commonly known one.
Monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Holy
the real
crap.
line?
No, Monday.
It's the one you know.
No, I know. I was just joshing
was
you.
dog-
Oh,
You know when they
Josh,
thought of that, they
you're
were
just
like,
yanking my
Just
chain,
yanking
man.
those chains.
Oh, okay, my phone's back on.
Almost enough.
do
Time
it.
to
remember
tweet
what
out
to
the
check.
thing.
What
Oh, God,
else
Shrek
are we
Holiday
talking
Special.
about? What's all this TV and movie
Well,
crap
that
up
was
there?
put on there because of you, the first one.
Okay.
So what do you have to say about it?
So Jordan finally got around. We've talked about Fantastic Beasts the last 2 weeks of the Hubcast. Now Jordan has finally, because initially Spencer was the only one who
Yep.
saw it. Then Joe and I went and saw it, and now Jordan has gone to see
So
it.
now we can
and
just
Steph,
spoil it, right?
You two saw it together.
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
assuming.
it. Yeah, we saw it.
All right, so
what-
we can
what do
just
you guys
spoil
think?
It, right?
Well, not too.
I thought it was
spoilery.
pretty darn good. I was telling them that I was extremely glad to see all the little references and stuff, and things
They
that
said Dumbledore.
really you had to, like a lot of things that came up from reading the books, because not everything from the book sadly gets to be in the movies, but
This time you don't have to worry
this
about
time you don't have to worry about that. But then they get to include a lot of little callbacks.
But then you get happy whenever any reference you understand comes up.
Yeah, no, and that's what's really cool about it, is I'm really, really excited, and I'm assuming they're setting up the final battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, which is
Yeah, that'd be cool.
supposedly
At the end of the fifth movie,
Is there going to be five
Yeah,
of them?
there's gonna be five of
so
them.
yeah, I'm assuming that's what they're leading
Please
up
tell me
to. And you said Jerry Harris.
Jared Harris is like the fans want Jared Harris.
Okay, so
as-
there wasn't any official.
So yeah, Jared Harris is the son of Richard Harris, who was the original Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter movies. Jared Harris has been in Mad Men and countless other things. He was
the
Moriarty
professor, yeah.
in not Game of Thrones.
Does he look the part?
Game of Shadows.
Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows.
I mean, he looks like
he
a
looks
younger version of his dad.
He does.
so-
Yeah, he's the redheaded dude. He was in Resident Evil Apocalypse. He was the dude in the wheelchair. He's been in a bunch of stuff. So he had weighed in on it and said that he thought it was flattering that people, he appreciated it, but he was aware that studios don't like fans pushing casting onto
Yeah.
them.
Kind of like with Spider-Man and
Yeah, like it gets every once in a while where the hype train just goes nuts, and it was like, we want this person. I think with Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch was one of those people, because they were like really close to locking in Joaquin Phoenix for
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, but
they did offer it to Benedict first though.
did they?
But he was
his schedule was really busy, and then it fell through with Joaquin, and then it ended up working out with Benedict. So I mean, that was a
Joaquin
big
Phoenix would have been really good.
yeah. Oh, of course he would.
I would have liked him better than Benedict.
He'd be
I
great in
Benedict
anything.
was great though.
Yeah. Benedict did a
His
good
accent
job.
sucked.
Jackass.
But I mean, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is. I mean, he's an incredible actor. Both of them are. Anyway, so yeah, like stuff like that.
Which is
studios
true.
don't typically like people.
Joaquin looks a little bit like General Zod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of general, that was another one, was Bryan Cranston for Lex Luthor. Everybody was like really
Yeah.
pushing for Bryan Cranston for
It
Lex
was almost
Luthor.
like people were just like, well, of course he's going to be it.
Well, I figured. I was just waiting for the announcement to happen at some point. And I
Because it
remember
does seem perfect.
Latino Review did report saying that they were almost locked down on him, which was bullshit because they post
Then we wouldn't have
bullshit
gotten
stories sometimes.
boys.
Boys. That's true. Yeah, boys.
Save my boys.
Save my boys. Anyway, so so he was just saying, if he hasn't heard anything from the studio officially. There's been nothing official. So
Yeah,
far, so.
well, that
but
could
that would be cool.
That could be really cool, because they had when I saw the there was a certain necklace that the guy handed over that I was like, I knew right away what that meant. I don't know if you guys remember that certain part where Colin Farrell handed that kid a necklace. Cadence. He handed him a necklace and said, touch
Ezra?
this when you need me. That necklace was a huge giveaway. It was pretty cool.
What was the necklace?
You remember the necklace?
Well, this was probably
I
into
remember
spoiler territory. but-
it was
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
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 yeah.
Deathly Hallows
No, I remember
necklace.
being like, oh yeah,
But did you know what that meant?
What did it imply?
that he
So-
has.
They use one of the followers.
Or that he has the
Deathly
Elder
Hallows
Wand.
symbol is. They actually went over it a little bit, not a ton in the 7th movie. Is that the Deathly Hallows is a symbol of followers of people that believe in the Deathly Hallows or want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But early on, it was followers of Grindelwald. Because
he led the charge.
he was the one that really wanted.
Well, and he should have
he
the
was
Elder
obsessed
Wand.
with
Elder Wand.
He should have it by this point.
Uh,
Because I looked at the official Harry Potter Wikipedia page, and this first movie is after he escapes from England with the Elder Wand.
Okay.
Well,
steals
he's
it.
already causing destruction.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
like, he's already
just
He
destroying.
may not have
enacting
had it
his
on
plan.
him though. That may have been like he may be hiding it somewhere.
Yeah,
too,
no,
so.
that's
They're
Where does Harry
definitely
find it?
going to be skipping years, Joseph. I think they've said that it's gonna hop around time wise within the 5 movies.
Where did
Because he has to
Harry-
write a book, publish it, and bring it back to America before he meets her again.
Yeah.
Oh, where does Harry find the Elder Wand?
Harry?
Dumbledore.
Or
Remember
where does-
he reaches in his grave.
The
Yeah.
ending battle between Grindelwald and Dumbledore
He
is
wins
what
it.
wins the wand.
Yeah, and
to
so Dumbledore has the
so
wand.
Dumbledore has the Elder Wand, but no
Gotcha.
one really knows that because
Yeah.
they didn't put 2 and 2 together, I guess, which is ridiculous. But
Well,
I
if
think
they
no
if
one
they
really
even
understood
if
that
they even
Grindelwald
knew
had it.
I was about to say if they even knew Grindelwald had the Elder Wand.
So
Yeah.
that's when Voldemort was searching. Grindelwald made an appearance in the 7th Harry Potter, where it was just kind of like a memory, if I remember correctly, where or that's how they described it in the book, where he kind of crawled through he came to the prison where Grindelwald was, and he like confronted him, and he's like, who has it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was the end of the first 7th one. So,
Okay.
but so like knowing that whole thing is like, because the big thing is Grindelwald and Dumbledore grew up together as kids.
Yeah.
And they both were big followers of the Deathly Hallows.
There's some really cool scenes though in the movie, like when. Well, I won't explain too much, but there's some really cool scenes in the movie that are very original to this movie, that I think is very cool.
Yeah, it was a good departure from just the common go to wake up, stupid Dursleys, escape somehow, go to school,
Very formulaic.
have a crazy thing happen, and then go back to the Dursleys. It was
Yeah.
good to go away from that, but still stay within the universe and hit all the necessities.
I did
so.
get a little giddy when he said Alohomora on the bank vault, because that was like the first like real like this is Harry Potter thing where I was
Yeah.
like,
The Niffler was pretty cool. That's something they reference a lot in the Harry Potter books. There's
The little Niffler.
the little
guy.
Niffler, the guy that's stealing all the gold.
He reminded me so much of those characters
It's
from
like a little
Futurama.
Yeah.
The Spurgers, the guys with the neck things that can smell valuable information
yeah.
or objects around. I was like this weird naked alien group that can literally sniff
Oh.
out valuable things.
Yeah.
And so he reminded me very much of those guys. My spurge or whatever they called sprunging.
Yeah.
Sprunge. I sprunge something. My sprungers,
yeah.
and it's like. A question to everybody who has seen this movie: is John Voight necessary to be in there at all?
If you needed somebody to look shocked real quick.
what part
Yes.
was he in?
He
He's
was
not
the
really-
he was
Oh, yeah,
the
he's the
governor
dad.
or the mayor.
Like
Yeah, he was the dad. Well,
He was the.
He was like the mayor of New
newspaper-
York, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
the
in-
owner of like
the owner of
5
the newspaper.
newspapers.
That's what it was?
He was just
Yeah.
he
Very
controlled
powerful.
He controlled information.
it was kind of like that Star Wars role with in The Force Awakens. Who's the guy at the beginning?
Oh, Max von Sydow.
It's kind of like that in a way. It's just like a role to someone.
He pops up in a couple times in the movie, though. It's just I don't
I didn't
know.
like it. They were just like,
thought
I
it
want
was just
I
John
need
Voight was a
they
little
should be
random.
captured.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
I want
Where'd you
these
come
people
from?
captured.
I thought I had fallen asleep, and I was like, man, did I miss a whole chunk of John Voight? Because that was out of context.
Whole theater laughed when he showed up. Alex said when John Voight pops up.
I mean, John Voight. It's like
Yeah.
most people that go to see it aren't gonna really know who he is anyway. So
Mr. Sir.
I'm sure.
George had his car.
I'm sure it doesn't. And I'm sure it's
George
not a
Deathstar.
huge. Like as long as
Not
they didn't
the
fork
John
out a
Voight.
bunch of money, I'm sure it's not too bad. of
I
it.
know. It seemed it almost takes me out of the movie because it's like, oh, there's John Voight, and I didn't think he did anything particularly special. Unfortunately, I love John Voight.
I liked his kid. I thought he did a good role.
Who else was it? Wait.
Oh, wait, who's this kid?
Which
The-
kid? He had two.
Oh, Ezra?
Not the shitty kid.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one. No, Ezra wasn't his kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, that lady was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That I love her. She was in
Who,
Minority
Umbridge?
Report. Huh?
Umbridge.
No. Fantastic Beasts. She was in Minority Report. You still haven't seen it, but she's
she was pretty much Umbridge. Like she looked like Umbridge.
She was like crazy fanatical human lady.
That was
Nothing
in
like it.
Salem, North Carolina. That was the Salem witch hunt, and that's why Cadence was like that.
I wanted to grab a pair of scissors and cut his hair.
I know.
Salem wasn't North
Sure.
Carolina, was it?
Salem was.
The actual Salem.
I'm
I thought
pretty
that was
sure.
more up north, further up north.
Salem witch trials was in Massachusetts.
It was?
Massachusetts,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
We have
Salem,
Winston-Salem.
But that was
That's
like
what
that
I'm
was like
thinking.
18. That was like
We have a Salem as well.
1800s. That was much
But it
more
seemed
before
like
that.
because I remember hearing.
It's second
They mentioned
Salem. They're
they
bringing
call
back
it-
Salem was their whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they wanted to bring
New
back
Salem.
the witch trials because there's witches and wizards.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. There's assholes, is what.
It's not like they weren't right.
Yeah. Just their sentiment was wrong.
Yes. Just because people are different doesn't mean they need to be,
Killed.
Yes. Exactly.
They should be put in
That's
a
what-
briefcase.
I
and
do like-
carried around the
I like that they
world.
had anti-wizard sentiment though. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Like I do like that. They can continue or focus more on and they kind of did already before, but like that kind of exclusionary aspect of society with people who aren't normal, which they had with Mudbloods and the original one.
No-Mages?
Now it's a bit more No-Maj and
No, Mudbloods
no
are
Mudbloods,
the
like
non-purebred.
Yeah,
No
like they made a
Mages?
big deal, like because they didn't focus a lot about the human and wizard relationship.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, there's a spell around this place, so if a human comes, they'll get confused and go away.
Exactly.
Like that was the most they really kind of explored.
They
with
mentioned
that.
that America was tighter on not letting Muggles and wizards.
Well, because that's reality in general.
no, I'm
but
saying
yes,
like
I know.
in Britain they were fine with it. Like
Yeah.
it was just like a
Well, that's why when it
different
comes over, they're
culture
like, you guys
shift.
have some backwards rules on marriage and whatever.
That was what was interesting. Is like, in Hogwarts with Harry Potter and everything, it was there was just an air of integrity, even like with Voldemort. Like everyone was playing their part,
Yeah.
Whereas in America, it was like police state lockdown, and constantly trying to have to fight upstream just to do what you would naturally do in Europe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Filthy little mudblood.
Did they ever tell what was the name of it? Wasn't Ministry of Magic? Did they? I remember hearing a name for it.
department or something. I don't
It
know.
was like the Coos or something like that.
The Yakuza? It sounded like the Yakuza.
Yeah, I
heard
can't
it.
remember what the name was. But they had a different name for it because obviously they're not going to have. It's like Parliament, and then over here we
Yeah.
have like the Senate kind of stuff.
The acronym reminded me of Hermione's thing.
Hermione's thing?
the house elf thing, but it spelled out something
yeah.
stupid. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember what you're saying.
Coalition or something.
But yeah, Fantastic Beasts was good.
What do you call a no-mage that learns magic? It was Filch was
Squib?
one. Squib.
No, Squib is when you can't
Squib
use
is
magic,
you were born to a magical
but you
family,
can't do
but
it.
you can't do
Oh.
it.
Because he
okay.
calls him that at one point. And he's like, "You're just a squib."
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what was Filch? There was something else.
I don't
Filch
think
is a squib.
Yeah.
Okay, is that
Yeah.
what they
I
were
don't
called?
think you can
Filches.
learn magic if you're a no mage.
Yeah, it's just no. You're born.
Yeah,
of two
you have the ability.
magical parents, but you can't do it.
I remember in one of the
Like-
books he was like he was taking courses or something. Or
Yeah, he was trying to like do some kind of like miracle cure, like 800 number thing. But
okay. I thought it was like a legit.
No, it
thing.
was just
Okay.
like he was
You
just
just
Further
trying
explaining
something.
how Filch is such a faller and will fall for anything.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. It was
Like,
just
and that's
like
why
a-
like Umbridge, like he just falls right in with her because
Yeah.
like, oh, somebody who's doing what they want to do. Okay, come with me, cat.
Yeah.
What was the name of his cat?
But you can't give birth to
Miss
magic
Norris.
people.
Huh?
Miss Norris.
Miss Norris.
You can't give birth to magic people because both of Hermione's parents aren't
Yeah.
witches or wizards.
Yeah, and that's why she's a mudblood.
Exactly.
Mud blood.
Sorry, I used that
Fantastic.
filthy
All right,
word.
That was some beasts. So Spider-Man.
The trailer
Homecoming
comes out
Dance.
today.
Yeah, the trailer comes out today. They released a teaser yesterday. It
was a weird
it was
teaser.
it was like a found footage thing almost, where it was like Spider-Man filming. He was in that like jumpsuit sweater outfit. Why was he back in that again?
And he's like,
Did Tony take the suit back from the end of like
I would hope not.
Civil War or whatever?
Is that kid playing
Probably.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Tom Holland. So it starts off.
Cool.
It's him and Happy Hogan. It's Tony Stark's like bodyguard dude, and he's like, he
Tony
gets
Stark has a package for
package
you.
for you. It's a suit
It's
upgrade,
like
and then
sausage pizza.
then they show him flying with the web wings, which I had read an article describing that teaser because I think they showed that same teaser they were about to show somewhere else. But
It's a very weirdly edited teaser.
it's very. I mean, it's a teaser for a teaser, so there probably won't be a whole lot in the teaser to begin with. So I don't like
I
teasers.
love
for
that there's
but-
teasers for teasers now.
Yeah.
It used to be
Teaser trailer
It used to
for a
be
teaser
teasers
trailer.
for trailers, and now
Yeah.
it's teasers for teasers.
Well, the trailers used to be teasers for movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's teaser, trailer, trailer.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But it was edited very strangely, but I mean, it got me excited. So
Yeah.
But I'm just excited for the movie.
Yeah. And so that's airing on Jimmy Kimmel tonight. Hopefully it looks pretty good. I mean, Michael Keaton, you can't go wrong. Michael Keaton as
Who's
Vulture.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
You know, speaking of
Birdman.
Jimmys, I don't like Jimmy Fallon.
Mm.
I haven't
He's
liked
a
him. I
felon.
haven't liked him for a long time.
Do you think there's a battle between Jimmys?
I hope there is, because I hope Jimmy Kimmel
is
wins.
winning. He is winning.
He has to. I mean, I know he lost Sarah Silverman, and that sucks.
That
But-
always
turned
made me
around.
sad.
I know.
Yeah.
I always liked them together, but shit happens. But you know what? I used to like Jimmy Fallon on SNL. I didn't even realize it was him until you mentioned it last year.
Oh, really?
But I do not
The
like
laughing
Jimmy
guy?
Fallon as a TV show host. He's doing great for himself. Good for him. But he's so fucking annoying. He's so disingenuous all the time.
Wasn't Conan much better?
Conan,
as the
I
Tonight
still
Show
like
host?
watching Conan. Like
Yeah.
Conan's fun to watch. I liked. I like
Corden?
what? I like James Corden, and I really like the guy before him. I can't remember. his
Oh,
name right now. Craig
uh,
Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson
I
was
love
the
Craig
best.
Ferguson.
Ferguson.
Craig was the most natural to like
'Cause he didn't
late
give a
show
shit,
host.
and that's why I loved
He
it.
threw a lot of the rules out the window, and like they had stupid bits that were just ridiculous, and he thought they were just as ridiculous as
And
the
they
audience
would
did. and it
tell
was-
him to get like a side guy, so he got a robot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like that stuff. But
Really
Jimmy
good.
Fallon, like he had Reggie from Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto there today or yesterday. And
Okay,
they
well
showed off-
now I can understand why you're talking
I
about
watched
this
it
even more.
like it was
I
the
heard you
first
talk about it.
Nintendo Switch like live playing type of thing, and they also showed off the Mario Run thing, which looks kind of stupid, but they were showing it off. And
Wait,
you were like,
was it live or was it pre-recorded?
it was live.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just stupid. Like I was like trying to watch the gameplay, and he was just there like, "Oh yeah, I love Nintendo. Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh, and you can like take this off and take the controllers off, right?" And like it wasn't scripted stuff because Reggie was talking about it, and he kept interrupting Reggie to talk about how cool it was. You could
Well,
take
maybe
this
Jimmy
off
was
and
trying to
controllers
make it
off.
less of an advertisement, but it was still not coming off
But
well.
Reggie's so good at talking about that type of stuff,
Yeah.
and he's just like blurting in. And I can understand like not wanting to make it seem like an ad, but he's like, "Yeah, I've been a biggest Nintendo fan for so long," and it's like I like when people are excited about things. I get super excited about things, but be like it's just like he'll be there like kind of like this, and he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I love it." Like there's no smile, there's no like excitement there. It's just him like phoning it in all the way, and he bugs me so much because even Conan would at least be like, "I don't care," or like whatever it may be. Like at least
Yeah.
show your genuine emotion. But he bugs me. I don't
And
like
the
him.
clueless gamer with Witcher
Conan.
3 was probably one of my favorite Conan bits.
Yeah, no, I love that. I was kind of sad when
Yeah,
they took
that was
out his
good.
side guy though, because they started doing 2 celebrities instead of 1, and so they took the guy who helped them.
The
with
producer,
The
yeah,
producer.
the producer guy
I
away.
liked him because he was usually like, "Please don't do that."
No, Conan, what are you doing? Stop.
Well, they turned it into. I think they tried to elevate it with bringing in celebrities every single time or whatever. Like,
which
get it more.
is fine, but watching Tyrion and Cersei play Overwatch was painful.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were funny, so I didn't really care too much. I'm not one to get bothered by that. But yeah,
Yes.
that was wrestling my jimmies with Spencer.
Wrestling my jimmies.
Flicking my jimmies.
So the game awards happened. The TGAs, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
the acronym for that one?
VGAs?
Nah.
The Game.
I think it's just the Game Awards is what they
Oh, that's
bill
weird.
it as. The
Who-
VGA, the Video Game Awards, wasn't that a different thing? That was Spike.
Spike.
So Keeley is they kind of I think they just spun it off and it's kind of more of a normal like a across platforms thing,
Yeah.
less than being on one network because they streamed it on Twitter and Twitch and
Oh, that's
like
cool.
everywhere. It was everywhere, and it was also on television, I think. But a lot of winners. I think the big winner this year was Overwatch. Seemed to kind of sweep a lot. Looking
Which
at the
game
makes
of the
sense.
year.
I mean, you and me talked about this when it first came out. I was like, this is going to be game of the year. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
story game, but
Now that begs the
That's-
question:
What?
should multiplayer-only games
Have
be
their-
able to be considered for a Game of the Year award?
I mean, it just did.
you just said right there, game. It's a game.
It is a game.
There
I don't
is a
think
They
It's
should.
pretty
They should.
heavy story,
They
though.
have best. They have best multiplayer, which they won.
Yeah.
But
And
they,
they've all- do
but
they have
it's
best
also
story?
a game too. It's classified as game. Like narrative doesn't necessarily make it any less of more of.
They
a
could
game.
have like a best
Um,
game award, then best multiplayer and best story.
which I think they do have those awards. So it just kind of is a breakdown of all the things, and then you have
Yeah.
one for everything.
Because I do think
Yeah.
people are a little well, especially like a year or two ago, were super harsh on multiplayer only games, and now it's like a standard almost.
Yeah.
Not standard, but
Well,
it's
that's
like
because it's moved into because like that begs. I'm just posing the question.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't agree with the fact that it's being in there, but basically all these multiplayer only games have come to fruition because of the fact that they've found such a aggressive and successful monetization platform with all these. Like that's the reason they're kind of there. Like Call of Duty, Halo, like those all had multiplayer that were more popular than their single player components.
But they still had one.
And that was kind of like the norm. So
Well,
I just think
Titanfall
it's
2
kind of
had a story
interesting.
mode that a lot of people love.
Yeah.
But I haven't played it yet.
Success wise, though, I don't know. Like how did Titanfall 2 do?
Did okay. I think in terms of reaction to it, it's like it had huge support because all the DLC is free and they had a story mode and the multiplayer was super fun and they fixed a lot of things that people had problems with in the first one. But I don't know if it did super well in terms of sales.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the shift that we've been seeing in the gaming industry because it's very hard to create a successful platform of a traditional game that can last 5 to 6 years. I mean, that was hard to do back in the day anyway, but the only people that I've seen that have been doing a good job of it is GTA 5. How long has that been out? Like,
Yeah.
Cam, I mean, they have the
2013.
benefit of continually rolling out content for it, but also re-releasing it multiple times because they
3 times
2013 on that last gen, 2014 for next gen, 2015
without the
for PC.
re-releases because they've still been doing pretty phenomenal with the multiplayer.
Yeah,
updates.
updating it and doing a lot of
Because like I don't think most multiplayer platforms understand the like how awesome it is to all the fans that really enjoy it to be able to provide a consistently updated experience.
Well, it's like Overwatch.
Because if you look
all
like
that DLC is free.
like Star Wars Battlefront I love it. It's
So
a
GTA.
blast
Yep.
and it's cool and all that, but they have 4 expansions that they planned and they're just releasing the last one now and then they're done. Like people are turned off significantly by that.
Because they want to invest their time. Like, if for instance, Overwatch could last forever.
Because Overwatch could continue to go. It's just
Yeah.
like,
It's
like,
based
just
on your
it's just
interest
the
level.
same
Yeah.
reason why TF2 is still around after, 12
Exactly.
years or whatever. It's like they continually update it and there's no plan for it to stop updating. It's just like, we
Open-ended.
continue to, they may have a plan in their minds, like how long, but they don't tell anyone how long they're going to continue. So,
Yeah.
so they'll continue
You
to.
said Payday, right? You mentioned Payday.
Payday's the same way.
Paydays, they've
Payday,
been pumping out
has
stuff
been
since.
around for a while, and they just continue to throw updates into it. Like that's a big strategy that a lot of companies just don't seem to understand. Is that sure DLC is cool, but when it's planned DLC, like that day one DLC always got a lot of flack, and scheduled DLC I think is going to receive the same thing because if people know that it's a game a year and every year there's 2 DLC updates, you buy the season pass, like because season passes are basically like just a discounted all DLC thing. So why pay for that when I think more people get more enjoyment out of being, going into Overwatch and knowing that there's going to be a consistent amount of updates.
Well, and the cool thing
all the
about
time.
like Hearthstone, for instance, is you get 4 expansions every year, and it's been like that for the last 3 years now. So there's been like 12 expansions.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
they don't have to, like, some of them are paid, some of them aren't. They just have such a good monetization.
And it's free to play.
Yeah.
But it's not.
They set it up so you can play it for free, but like people want to spend money on
Exactly.
it because
I've put in
it's-
over. Well, I looked at
new
how much I
stuff.
spent. It was like 8. No, it was more than that. I think it was almost a grand on Hearthstone and Overwatch combined.
Damn.
That's nothing.
But that's because the games are great. They're fantastic games, and I don't actually feel bad I did that because I'd much rather put money into those games when they're giving me back these huge returns than put money into a game that that's giving me nothing back.
And if you think about it, I think they do have microtransactions in Call of Duty, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played it enough
I think
to
every
know.
game
I think
does
there's
now.
like cases or something for skins and stuff. But the fact that, an average person is going to spend $60 on Call of Duty and you look into it and like the highest person that's going to just waste money is going to spend $120 for the full super edition and then maybe $50 for all the DLCs, so you're looking at maybe $200 with some extra packs and stuff, and then here Spencer spends that much on probably $500 on Overwatch, give or take, you know, depending over its lifetime.
Yeah.
I spent less on Overwatch because Overwatch isn't
less
so
on
dependent.
Overwatch? Yeah, I guess
I've only
that's true.
paid just for the game, and I get, you know,
Well, you get
equal
free
amounts
loot
of-
boxes. You don't really need to
Yeah.
spend money on Overwatch because it is cosmetic. In Hearthstone, you're spending money on
Mechanics.
more mechanics and gameplay in a way because you're buying cards which influence how you play. It'd be like buying abilities for your characters in Overwatch.
So is it like a pay-to-win type of thing?
Kind of. In a way, I mean, you can't. There's always like on the Hearthstone Reddit, there's plenty of accounts that are like, I'm free to play and I've gone legend or whatever it may be, which is the highest you can get. You can do it. It's just really hard because you get free packs for wins, you get free gold, you get they give you stuff just like in Overwatch, but it's if you really want to do good, you have to spend some money.
I really love Overwatch just because it is just it. I like letting it happen as it happens, you know, and just playing the game and then just like fluffing up the Overwatch team. Just be like, yo, I love what you're doing because it's unique and but yeah, I think it's great. It's a great because I don't like that whole kind of horde mentality of what's happened to Call of Duty and Halo of just like you were saying with when fans push for actors to be cast in certain roles, like studios resist that just because you know I don't know what the reasoning is, but more so to have more control over the so
they don't want to be feeling like they're dictated to do something.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's all art, so like you gotta think it's all people getting together to make these games happen. They're really passionate about it, but they gotta, you know, there's a huge feedback element in the entire game industry, and probably larger than a lot of other industries. And so, you know, I like just letting Overwatch or any other game company just do their thing based on what they think is like the best design and best functionality and gameplay. And I mean, definitely like listen to your fan base, but otherwise just do your thing and release it when, you know, just make a plan and do it. And that's what they're doing, and that's why I really like it. And like it's I did get kind of try hard at recently, but I'm kind of getting back to just being casual and enjoying it. And I'm like, okay, now it's Overwatch is fun all the time. Rather than
I do that with Hearthstone Overwatch.
depending
It's
on
like
the
a
game.
cycle where you get too deep, and you're kind of just like, I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
So you kind of take a step back.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think they deserved it. I understand your concern about the no story element, but the story's there in like a. I don't think they're the first people to do it, but just all the alternate reality stuff, and you know, I think that's really cool. And the community is so passionate about it that it's sort of the story kind of generates itself and it's spread around.
Yeah, Overwatch has done it really well, where you create a reason why these people are out there fighting. So it's just not like that's why it works so well, is because they've created a story without you having to play a single player experience.
Yeah, you can pick it up at your leisure, and there's a lot of like suspension of disbelief. So like you're wondering like why, if you're playing Soldier 76, you're fighting another Soldier 76. It never really conflicts in my head. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is taking me out of it. It's just like, oh, there's that guy.
Yeah, it's just that thought of like the big thing TF2 always did was it was just like red versus blue. Like team red, team blue. There was no reason why there could have been 50 million NGs or 50 million snipers, but they never would pay attention to the fact that they were all in the same universe. It was just, they're just there.
And Overwatch is just really rewarding because out of all, and this could be good or bad, but it really inflates your ego. Yeah. Because like they give you kills for everything. Like you can hit a guy once, it'll give you a kill.
It's
if he dies.
And
so it's very rewarding when you first start playing. Like I was like, oh, I'm good at this, and then it makes you want to play more, and then I actually got better at it. And it's rewarding because Joseph was saying you can get 9 crates a week from arcade mode, and then 1 for every level. Yeah. And so like that's a pretty consistent thing. Like
I just pay for them.
Yeah, I mean
that's how you pay for the.
I haven't bought loot boxes in months and months and months and months. I had done it like once or twice where I got like 20 loot boxes and that was it.
I usually for Hearthstone and Overwatch I get like a certain amount for every expansion. I don't think I can do it for Christmas though. But
I might do that. That might be my Christmas gift to myself, is just like 20 loot boxes.
It's a good way to get because I did that for the Rio ones, and then I ended up getting a lot of those.
The Rio ones, I liked the Zarya outfits, and I got one. So that was
it was just the first update where there were new skins for me.
No,
so
again, I
think that was actually for anyone
too. They can do what they want. I think they have proved that they have a vision, but I wasn't a huge fan of the summer game stuff.
Well,
it was a little.
Speaking of Overwatch,
we can do that.
Joe, take it away,
or I can do it now.
No, you can talk about it now.
Okay. All right. So tomorrow is week 2 of our tournament series. It's not directly through the creatures, but it's it's more of a let's play kind of doodad. But tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, we're doing a 3v3 Overwatch tournament on the PTR servers, so on Echo Point. I'm going to do a little video later today describing the sign-up process, and also going to give you guys a link to a Discord. So if you're a solo player and you want to, hook up with 2 other players and jump into this, you can certainly do that. You can meet each other, get some practice in. We actually have some prizes and some super special guests coming. They're going to be playing. I don't know. I don't want to give away too much yet, so just wait for the video. But it'll be fun.
I'm going to try make
Very
a
fun.
team.
Yeah.
What was that sentence?
That's the enthusiasm I want you to bring to this tournament.
Make a team.
So it should be less of a steep thing because 6v6. If you're solo, or even if you play with 3 friends, let's say, that's not a full team for a 6v6. So hopefully the 3v3
it'll be easier.
It'll be faster. It'll be. I really love the chemistry of 3v3. It's more intimate. You really have to work together and keep each other alive and protect each other. So it's really cool. So it'll be fast paced. So it'll start at 4 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow, and like I said, I'm going to put out more details today, and then just tweet about it up until then, and get you guys on there. But you'll see the link, you'll see the prizes, you'll see the parameters, all of it. So,
and Jordan gonna try to make a team.
Yes.
Make team.
End spiel.
So also with
Ally
the
McSpiel.
TVTMAs, there were some games announced as well.
Oh yes, that's what I look forward to most because I didn't even watch the shows. I was just
I just watched the trailers afterwards.
Yeah, I watched the trailers afterwards, and it's fun to tune in too and see them revealed at the same time because some of the trailers they don't say what it is. It just starts playing something like the Last of Us 2 trailer, Part 2 trailer. That Joe and I were watching it because I hadn't watched it yet, and I was like, "You want to watch that trailer?" And I pulled it up, and man, that trailer is fucking awesome.
That is. I didn't play the first one. I always wanted to though, but I never had a PS4.
I saw a tweet. Somebody pointed out who's the main guy in The Last of Us. Do you know his name?
Troy Baker. Oh, Joel.
Joel. Yeah, it's the caption was Joel kept his promise, and it was just the subtitle dialogue. He's
Play guitar.
Yeah, he's like, when we get out of this, I'm going to teach you how to play guitar. And then
she's playing it. Man, that was a really cool trailer.
I'm not a huge zombie fan, but that was the one that I really, really liked.
Did you play it?
I did.
Oh, okay. I
sort
never
of
played it.
I watched. It wasn't on my radar, and I had a friend that was staying with me that was playing it, and I just was like, "This is fucking cool." And then I played it a little bit. I didn't actually even beat it, but I thought the mechanics and gameplay and the whole concept was really cool.
It was too hard for me. It was too hard.
It is. It's very intense.
I got a PS4 last year on Black Friday to play all the Uncharted games because it was the Uncharted PS4, which they actually had on sale again this year. Still haven't touched any of them. I think I got Last of Us 2 because I was like, I'm going to play that. Never played it.
Oh.
I have Last of Us. I just got
Maybe
stuck.
one day.
That would be a good one. It's very
Too hard.
Did you get the remastered or the PS3 version? Oh, I guess you said PS4.
Probably remastered. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I bought it on PS3, and then I think
I got a few things, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
Gotcha.
But I'm pretty sure one of them was Last of Us. So maybe one day I'll play it.
someday.
And they announced a new Telltale game.
Oh, yep. They announced the Gardens of the Galaxy, a Telltale game.
Which is a prequel to the second movie that's coming out next year.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
Is this the Marvel project they announced a billion years ago?
That's what I was curious about, because I thought the Marvel project was going to be an overall project.
Yeah, like 3 years ago
Could be,
they announced
so.
they were doing a Marvel project, so I guess this is finally their thing with it. And the Batman series finale is happening Tuesday.
Ooh.
That comes out Tuesday. I'm still 2 episodes behind, so I got to catch up. But series finale. I thought they were going to go do seasons, but I guess they said series.
Yeah. Well, it may be better they may come back to it, but I think for DC and maybe even Telltale, it's a good idea to just do like a one and done type of thing.
Like
so
the Michonne or
exactly,
other things, yeah.
And then was The Walking Dead season 3? Was that it?
The 25th or the 23rd, I think, is when
this month sometime.
Was that the TMAs they announced that?
Yep, they announced the launch of The Walking Dead episode 3, or not episode 3, season 3, with Clementine's adventures continuing. Now, I've been avoiding a lot of I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, but I haven't watched anything on season 3 of Walking Dead, just because I don't need to know any of the story, because I already know I'm going to play it, and I'd rather not know anything.
I do that with movies now, like Star Wars. Like I watch the main trailers usually. I usually watch the first 2, and I don't watch the third one.
Spencer.
What?
By the way, the Boone Chol is in it.
Yes.
Because I saw it in an updated trailer that came on TV.
The Boone Chol is in Rogue One. Remember when we were watching the Star Wars Battlefront trailer when there was that giant hole on the planet and it like closed up like this?
The tensing.
That's why I didn't get what you guys are talking about right now. No, I didn't see that.
There's a Boonge hole.
There's a Boonge
in Rogue One.
There's a Boonge.
Yeah,
a
the
Boonge
Star Wars
planet?
Rogue One
It's a
DLC
rectum.
for Battlefront. Just the tensing sphincter is in
Would
there.
you call that big dish on the Death Star the Boonge dish?
No.
No, it's not an open hole though.
It's
Now
not
I
a
would call
hole.
the exhaust vent that Luke fires his whatever
That's the
into.
Boonge. That's the Boonge of the Death Star.
They
He
plug
fired
that
it into
Boonge
the
up.
Boonge, the Death
The
Boonge.
exhaust port.
But
You know,
that's cool.
I've seen speculation about that because everybody, years and 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 years have been like an exhaust port. But now that they have Jyn Erso's dad being the guy who's building the Death Star clearly against his will, then it stands to reason that he intentionally put that flaw in there so it would be easily destroyed.
See, this is like what I like about when they successfully
Retcon
things is it makes sense, and then
Yeah.
that way it's fine because that way they can remove those stupid things. I mean, you can't remove Jar Jar Binks, sadly, but I like that you can remove little things like, oh, why is there an exhaust port? It's like, well, here you go,
Yeah.
and they do it successfully, and I
So
like that.
one thing I never thought about: what would be the viability of
I've
a
wanted to do
proton torpedo being able to go into this sized hole, no bigger than a womp rat? Did you stop it, Spencer? And travel. How many hundreds of miles would it be to the center of the Death Star? The Death Star's pretty big.
well,
Like,
they flew in
the
it pretty quick in Return of the Jedi.
The scale they have that thing, wouldn't the proton torpedo technically have to travel like
Yeah, 'cause it is
over
the size of
100
a small
miles
moon.
into the middle of that thing?
It was
And-
going pretty quick.
And what?
But they also automatically curve
Yeah, I
into
don't
it.
know what
I
that's
never
all about.
understood
I
that.
don't- I never
The
understood
shot,
that.
it goes like, phew, and I'm like, well, that way.
So which torpedo would have the gas power to be able to go inside?
You know which torpedo?
Huh?
The one they gave Luke.
What if it was just a free fall?
I also like when
I
he
mean,
fires
it's
Was
it.
that
like
just a
it is
special
because
edition
of
shot? What was
gravity,
was that would have been a special edition shot, right? That addition of the curve. I'm sorry. Are you even talking about the curve anymore? Or are you just talking
No, I
about
don't
the
care about the
distance
curve.
traveled?
The curve
Just
is
getting
weird in
there.
I
general.
think the curve was in
so-
the original. wasn't
Okay,
it? I don't know.
I think that
The
was
curve is weird in general. So the Death Star generates its own gravity field. I understand that, but if you have something that big, I mean, the thing that goes into this exhaust port would lose gas or detonate before it can actually reach what it needs to be reaching. But at the
What if
same
it's igniting
time,
the exhaust?
If it dies and it is gravity that's pulling it down, how long would that take for it to fall several hundred miles?
But what if it like just ignites the exhaust? What if
it's
it's
exhaust.
yeah,
Exhaust
some
isn't flammable.
Some might be.
It could have
waste
been-
any sort of waste.
Were
like-
they special torpedoes? Like,
They're proton torpedoes.
What do you think? It's just like fucking diesel exhaust coming out of the exhaust port.
it could have just fucked shit up enough to.
It could be
begin
like
the process.
radioactive or
Either
nuclear or
way,
I
something.
have the
doesn't-
most important answer to this. Does it really matter?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because the rebels shouldn't have been able to do that. I
Yes,
would
they
have loved to
should've.
see them shoot him.
They
in, and they're
explained
like,
it, Jordan.
"Yes!" And then it's just
they
like a
already
pop, and then
pre-explained
they're
that
just
it would
like-
work, so you don't
Yeah.
need to know anything about
They're
that.
stupid.
Now, this is not the story where mini Bothans die, though. That was in.
And what in the world is there an exhaust port that's perfectly open into outer space that goes all the way
It's
to
an
the
exhaust
center of the
port. What do you
thing?
mean? What you have to exhaust into space?
It shows you the hubris of the Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
See, we are untouchable. Therefore, we can be sloppy because the rebels are just a bunch of rats.
It's like Darth
They
Vader
showed them.
bending over and sticking his asshole wide open in the air and being like, "I bet you can't put your dick in here."
Or he's
and
like,
then Obi-Wan's like,
Come
"Oh."
to the dark side.
Do you think if you fart near a lightsaber, it'll light your fart on fire?
Yes.
I hope so.
Crawl up your ass too, like the torpedo.
Luke's just like, hey, check it out.
And then he cut something off.
I don't like Star Wars
I'm glad we
anymore.
scienced that explanation.
I think see, if there's any of those scientific like presentations on Sci-Fi Channel or something where they have like Neil deGrasse like and Bill Nye and
this is
everything.
why Star Wars is bullshit.
So we put together a team of experts to figure out how in the world this proton torpedo was able to make it into this exhaust port and travel all the way to the center of this massive space station and blow it up entirely. How does that happen? I don't care about the way the spaceships fly or if that's even
well,
possible.
Rogue
You know
One will
what's so-
fill us in.
Yes.
Maybe they'll elaborate on things.
They
and-
better. They
and-
better. I'm walking out if
I've
they
also
just say,
invented
like,
a
just like-
special
I bet there's
missile.
a scene where they talk about the exhaust port.
Yeah, there better be.
I bet there's going to be ample skepticism too among the rebels.
You know
and
what's
then
so-
they're
But
like,
wait a second. Are you telling me that these Empire idiots built a perfectly hollow exhaust port that traveled all the way hundreds of miles to the center of this massive space station. So if we fire a proton torpedo, it's not going to be able to lose gas and travel all the way to the center of this planet.
Why does there
and
need
blow
to be
it up.
gas?
What?
Why is there gas inside of these missiles?
How else are they being propelled?
I don't know. Lasers. There's fucking lightsabers. Why does gas
They also
matter?
have laser technology.
Why
It doesn't
does it-
matter. If you have a torpedo,
It's a blaster. Yeah, it's not a missile. It's a blaster. It's not a missile in the movie. It's a physical, isn't it? Like
It's like a ball.
A proton torpedo is an actual.
Is it
but
a
in
proton
the
torpedo
movie-
though? Do you know that's exactly
Yes.
what they're using?
That's
But
what
in the
they
movie,
say.
it's
On
a
the
ball
X-Wing,
of
it's
light.
proton
It's not
torpedo.
I
like a
don't care if
torpedo.
it's a ball of light. They
Yeah,
didn't-
I fucking
they
care if
didn't
it's a ball of light.
physically
That doesn't
represent it
fucking matter.
correctly.
That's why.
I'm done.
Yes,
He already explained.
because an X-wing is out of. They don't have missiles. They just have those little beam thingy-majiggies.
No, they do have.
they have missiles?
have
Missiles?
Proton torpedoes are represented as a physical torpedo in every game I've played.
Except for the
And-
fucking movie, which is the
And
only
no.
canon thing
when you
here.
shoot the proton torpedoes, they still look like a ball of
yeah.
light.
Cardboard 2 said photon torpedo. That's Star Trek. I don't know if these are different things, but photon torpedoes are
No,
what they
these
use
are
in Star Trek.
proton torpedoes. These are proton
Protein
torpedoes.
torpedoes.
They're
You've been
made
working
of
out too much.
protein amino acids, and they fire off of the juices
They're just
of
cow
human
bones.
beings.
Oh,
I
man.
think
I'm done
that
talking
none
about
of this
this.
matters. And you know what's so great about
I'm not
when you're
watching
watching
Star
Harry
Wars.
Potter is when anyone asks you what the fuck, like, why did that happen? You just say magic.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
why I like watching movies like that, because no one cares. In Star Wars, there's people with lightsabers in the Force. You know why those things curved?
he's
Because
a wizard.
Obi-Wan in
Luke
Death was
used
like,
the
"Ooh."
force. No, Luke used the force to make the torpedoes
Use the
go down.
force.
That's
That's why his-
easy to explain. I
And
don't
so
care
How
about
could
that.
it? What was
So
that?
is
That
he-
plan was doomed to begin with. We were running for Luke.
Yeah, well, that's why Obi-Wan was like, use the Force,
Use the
Luke.
Force.
And then when they curved, he went like this. He went, oh, like he just finished
Yeah.
shooting off his load.
Into the Death Star's
Boone.
deepest, darkest
Exposed.
pits.
Exposed Boone.
Guys,
Troll.
I think the most important thing is I just got an email from the Alamo Draft House saying that 50 Shades Darker tickets just went on sale. Anybody watch that trailer?
Is that a sequel?
Yeah.
the one time Steph cuts to herself is when
No, she was cutting
yes.
into herself while you were talking like an
Oh.
idiot, going,
Stop cutting yourself.
yeah, don't cut yourself. So, did anybody watch the trailer for 50 Shades Darker?
Never. And I will
Do they have a
not.
song in
No, we
it?
all watched it together. Remember, we watched it here in the office.
A trailer
Did they
just
have
came
the
out
same song
this
from the
weekend or
first
whatever.
movie?
What did we watch then?
There was a teaser, I think.
Oh.
But now
We watched
the
the teaser then,
trailer
okay.
trailer came out. There was explosions, some gunfire.
And on that,
Oh, yeah.
thanks for joining
no,
the
no, no, no.
Hubcast
I have
for
something
today.
else to say.
Hold on,
I have another
Unless
story.
it talks about proton torpedoes.
I'm gonna Google this.
He's going to fire
Alright,
some proton
so
torpedoes.
I just
into
wanted
their
to.
Death Star.
This is the one thing I really want to talk about for my life. So I came home a couple days ago. I walked up to my house. There's little clips outside of our doors so people can hang little notes there. There was a note hanging on my clip today, and it was not from my apartment community. It was from a neighbor. But these were on all of the clips. And this letter was a page long, and it talked about the people directly below us, and they were warning us that they've been stealing their Macy's packages for Christmas, and that there's random people always at the house. They don't know who actually lives there. And they're apparently last week, this guy came up to that door and started hitting with a sledgehammer, and a girl inside was screaming not to kill her. And
What the
I mean, they're
fuck?
fine. Which I did hear a lot of all this stuff. And so they wrote notes saying, like, we're going to try and get him expelled from the whole community,
From
which I'd be
Hogwarts?
fine with. But they also smoke menthols out on their deck, and it makes my deck smell like shit because they're right below me.
Menthols?
Menthols.
Oh, I'm thinking
And-
you're in your old place.
No, he's in that
Okay.
apartment.
Yeah, no, in this new apartment complex, and they are crazy. And every night I go to the bathroom. Yeah.
They have lock-on abilities. Lock-on abilities.
Okay, so
That's what the plans are
proton
for.
torpedo was a
have
type of
block-
weapon that's used to
Who the fuck cares about proton torpedoes? It's a movie.
There are also
Do
upgraded
you think
versions
George
that
Lucas
sometimes
like,
possess
how
target
would they
locking
curve
abilities,
down
as well
this
as so they
dashboard?
flew miles and miles, Jordan, but it was locked on to its target, so it knew what it was doing. That's why they had the plans, just like Joe just said. They had the plans. They knew they programmed those missiles to do what they needed to
They
do.
routed that shit
I'm sorry,
right in
Spencer.
there.
I hope those people get evicted.
And go. Wait, you went to the bathroom.
So I go to the bathroom every night, and my bathroom is vibrating. Not like there's a cup that's going like, the whole bathroom's vibrating. There's shit in the cabinets like rattling like this. They have something in their bathroom that's fucking like all night long, and just like I don't know what they have down there,
It
but
makes you
dryer?
wonder how.
Like a
no,
dryer.
yeah, our dryers are in our kitchen, which is on the other side of the apartment. And my bathroom, it's vibrating like crazy. So this isn't their dryer.
It makes you wonder what they do to afford a place like that.
Yeah, no, it does make me wonder. I think they're selling weed out of their bathroom.
Or meth.
How are they going to make money off of weed in Colorado?
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know.
Meth.
People
Maybe
who
they're
like,
the-
I don't
maybe-
want
maybe-
the inconvenience of
maybe-
going to a store.
Maybe they're a safe house for smugglers across the border.
There is random people going there all
Although
the
we're
time.
in the middle of the state, that wouldn't make much sense. You'd think you'd be closer to the border for that, but
And the first day I moved in, they hit a deer, and so their car was all dented. They're just weird neighbors, is all I'm saying. And I think they're going to get evicted very soon. And next time I go to the leasing office, I'm going to give them an earful.
Alphas?
No,
Jerks.
the leasing office is super nice. I'm just going to tell them that they're weird. But
That's
yeah,
grounds for eviction.
well, my bathroom is vibrating.
I think the sledgehammer is the linchpin of the situation.
yeah, that's probably it. But I
And
mean,
the
I can also
ceiling.
feel it on my bed, the vibration. So I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
hey, that's
Weird.
just an added bonus.
Yeah, it works
So
every now
I
and then.
was looking at this, and it
Oh, don't say
seems
proton.
like
Don't say
the
proton torpedoes.
Proton torpedoes that
Oh.
Luke Skywalker destroyed the first Death Star was not the advanced upgrade.
It wasn't
torpedoes
lock-on
that has
kind?
the locking abilities.
Where are you seeing this?
Okay, can I?
Then it's the Force.
You know
He
what it
used the
was?
Force.
It was Yoda's Force Ghost. Wait, no, he wasn't dead at that point.
No.
He
It
rode
was
him in.
Yoda wasn't
Obi-Wan's-
even in the
It was
movie yet.
Obi-Wan's Force Ghost who latched onto the proton torpedoes and weighed it down to the bottom of the thing.
I will
was just
go
like,
with the
I will
proton
bring this. Exactly. And then Luke, after this, was like, you know what would be so great? If I didn't have to have my Force Ghost uncle pull this down to the middle of the thing, I could just create missiles that locked on. So he created missiles that locked on because of his Force Ghost mentor.
You know what it was? Ben Kenobi was right in the entrance of the exhaust, and when the torpedoes came, he did that scream. He did.
And that,
And they went, nuh-uh, and they went straight down.
and Luke was like, "Why is there a crate dragging out here?"
You know, whenever you eject on the Gears of War Xbox, I think of
Yep.
because it goes like, and then I was saying the other day to Joe, I was like, oh, I wish it was the woo when you
I know.
ejected the disc. I want a Star Wars Special Edition Blu-ray Xbox.
I do kind of like turn it on because I always go like,
dun 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 dun
Yeah.
when you turn it
And then,
off. Yeah, I like the Xbox having some custom sound effects to the thing. All right.
I want to change it.
Yeah, I wish you could make your own, like it's like a Build-A-Bear, but it's an Xbox. So
Yeah.
when you turn it on, it's like
So the proton
Build a
torpedoes
box.
fired into the exhaust port are, pictured as cones. So they're cones right
Coniferous?
here, as you can
God.
see that.
oh yeah, I can see those. Is that a special edition shot, or was that in the original as well? I think
have
that was a
no
special
idea.
edition.
You know,
shot.
while we're talking about these proton torpedoes, can we explain the Force?
So Mr.
It's not
Han
unexplainable.
Solo himself scores himself quite the quote on this wiki page. Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Don't get cocky. That
Han
was also
Solo.
another
So
one.
1 in a million, Doc. 1 in a million.
He used the Force. I think that's what happened. That's
All
my
right.
submission.
Let's stop talking about this. You were wrapping it up, right, Jordan?
Anything
I
else
think that
on
was
that
a
list?
joke wrap up. I think that was him being like, I'm going to wrap it up to
So a thermal
joke.
exhaust
Well, we have been
port
going
was the
about
outlet of dissipating the excess heat produced by the large energy reactors used on board. So the exhaust port was a thermal exhaust port. Therefore, it was heat only coming out of that.
Yes, but maybe radiation heat.
No.
Is
Thank you
radioactive.
for joining us
It's-
today.
I'm
on
not
today's
making him uncomfortable.
Hubcast.
I was rubbing his knee really softly and gently, and he wasn't
I didn't
freaking
care.
out.
I wish we knew some
was
Star
driving
Wars
my point home.
scientists.
Yeah.
So wait, are you saying that the Death Star explosion was an inside job?
Matt said, I sent 35 emails. Well, that doesn't guarantee them getting answered. That just seems like spam. All right.
Oh, I turned
Did you hear what
Jordan's
I
mic
said?
off. Should I turn
You
it back
turned
on?
Jordan's mic off? Yeah!
No
All
more
right.
torpedoes.
Thank you guys for
Would
watching.
you say the Death Star was an inside job?
I turned
Oh,
it back
definitely.
It was an inside job.
All right.
on. I turned your mic
Darth
back on.
Vader was
No,
not
no,
even
he
on
Why
the
don't
dark
we do
side.
Conspiracy corner around Rogue One when it comes out.
Darth
Vader
Vader
did
was
the Death Star.
always on the light side. He was just playing an inside game. Okay.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Bye, everyone.
We
Thanks
will
for
see
watching.
you all soon.